Hey Celtics fans, if you love the Ime Udoka hire, then hey, like this video. I think he's going to be a great fit. I think it's going to be some good times for Celtics fans as we enter this new era of Boston Celtics basketball. So hit that thumbs up icon if you love the hire. Plus, more on this hire and some other rumors to get into as well on today's video. Welcome into Boston Celtics today. I am Harrison Graham, back with some Celtics news and rumors, and I wanted to talk more about the hire of Ime Udoka, who obviously was hired by the Celtics yesterday. And yes, he is the 6th African-American head coach for the Celtics, not the first. Shout out Jay Williams on that one. But more on this hire here as has come out and has emerged. And by the way, I think it's going to be a great hire. Jayson Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and yes, Marcus Smart apparently had major influence on the hire of Udoka. There were several candidates that were in the mix for this job. This is the Celtics. This is the mecca of NBA basketball. So obviously, when this job becomes open, a lot of interested candidates emerge, and a lot of good candidates emerge, and Udoka separated himself. And also, by the way, including Tatum, Brown, and Smart, who were in on Udoka, Gregg Popovich is a big supporter of his as well because, hey, he coached under Pop for 7 seasons in San Antonio. A couple of tweets I wanted to bring to the table here. Mark Murphy, who covers the Celtics, quote, "Per league source, the Tatum-Brown Smart axis was consulted. The Celtics wouldn't do anything unless key players were on board with it." Obviously, Brad Stevens has a great relationship with those guys as he has coached them for several years. Adrian Wojnarowski, reporter for ESPN, also added this. Udoka separated himself quickly in Stevens' search process, including significant support from Celtics players, Tatum, Brown, Smart, who were impressed with Udoka after working with him with Team USA in the Worlds. He's been an assistant coach in the past for Team USA. And honestly, if you're asking me, I know Chase Sr. broke down the hire on yesterday's video, but I think Udoka's ready for this gig. I think he's paid his dues. I think this is a good move for the Boston Celtics. Brad Stevens is a good mind that will have major influence, and he'll be a good resource for Udoka as he transitions into Danny Ainge's role as the new president of basketball operations, while Udoka takes over Stevens' old role as the head coach of this team. I think this duo is going to do some great things together over the next several years. How excited are you for Ime Udoka? Scale of 1 to 10. 1 being, this hire sucks. They should hire Mike D'Antoni. 10 being, hey, it's a home run hire. I think it's going to be great. I mean, like an 8. I'm optimistic. He's been an assistant for some really good organizations for a while. I think he's earned this opportunity, and I think he'll take advantage of it as well. Now, Gregg Popovich has obviously been the Spurs head coach for a while. Udoka coached under him for a long time. Look at this quote all the way back in 2015. 6 years ago, he felt very highly on Udoka as a head coaching candidate, and 6 years later, he gets this opportunity. Quote, "He exudes a confidence and a comfort in his own skin where people just gravitate to him. He's a fundamentally sound teacher because he's comfortable with himself. He knows the material, and the players read it." So that's pretty high praise. Pop has said over the years that he feels like Udoka is a head coach candidate, and now he is a head coach as he joins the Boston Celtics historic franchise. Now, you look at his past decade or so, served as a Spurs assistant under Pop for 7 seasons, spent 1 year under Brett Brown with the Philadelphia 76ers before hopping on Steve Nash's staff this year with the Brooklyn Nets. All 3 of those teams have done quite a bit of winning in recent years, so he's been a part of winning staffs. He's been under some good head coaches, and now he gets his opportunity. I think those 7 seasons with Gregg Popovich, he probably soaked up a lot of valuable information and teaching practices. I can't wait to see what he brings to the Celtics franchise that hadn't gotten stale under Stevens, but maybe this is the right move to have him go into the front office and have Udoka be the head coach. Will Ime Udoka win a championship with the Celtics? Will he lead this franchise to another pennant? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I should say banner, getting baseball terms mixed in there. Y for yes, N for no. Will the Celtics win a championship under Ime Udoka? Now, today's show is sponsored by the Newsbreak app, and you can download the app with our link at chatsports.com/CelticsNB. If you don't know what the Newsbreak app is, basically it allows you to keep up with all your local news stories all on one feed on your phone. It syncs up with your zip code, your neighborhood, all of that good stuff, and all your local news, weather, politics, food, pop culture, sports, updates, news, and rumors, all that stuff, it's aggregated onto one feed in article form. You can read your favorite stories from your favorite journalists and all of that good stuff. You can find videos from us here on Newsbreak as well. But help us out. Download the app today, chatsports.com/CelticsNB. When you plug that into your phone, it'll redirect you to the App Store. You can download the app there. Gives us credit, and hey, you take advantage of an awesome app. Support the show. Download Newsbreak today at chatsports.com/CelticsNB. Let's talk about Kemba Walker now here on Boston Celtics Today by Chat Sports. A report has come out that Kemba was, quote, heartbroken after the Boston trade for Al Horford to send Kemba to Oklahoma City. Now, Kemba Walker has always been a leader type. He's always been a good culture guy, dating back to his time with the Hornets and obviously the Celtics. And so I can certainly understand his frustration and his sadness by this move because, number one, OKC's rebuilding, so he's probably going to have to move again. I bet they will trade him. And number two, the injuries clearly have been frustrating for him. That's why Boston moved him, because he just can't stay healthy. Those knees have been a major issue the past couple of seasons, which is unfortunate because I thought when they signed Kemba Walker that was going to be a really, really good move for Boston. Just wasn't healthy enough. Now, just to kind of look back at what the trade entailed here, Boston obviously got Al Horford, Moses Brown in a second. The Thunder got a first, Kemba in a second. Obviously, the Celtics were just keen on getting rid of Kemba Walker's contract. That's why they were willing to ship their first-round pick. But Kemba reportedly pretty upset, and let me know if you're upset. Was trading Kemba the right choice? Type R for right, type W for wrong. As much as it stinks, I think it was the right choice. And Al Horford has played some of his best basketball in Boston. I think he's still got something left in the tank, and they needed a big. So win-win situation. You lose your first-round pick, but Kemba had to go. You know, these things are tough. They're not easy. The business side of sports is very difficult, and I think us as fans, we don't look at that enough. That's a big thing for a guy who signed a 5-year contract in Boston, 4-year contract, whatever it is, to have to get up and move his family across the country, and he's going to have to move again because, again, I don't think the Thunder are going to keep him in Oklahoma City. I bet he gets flipped to another team. When he's healthy, he's still a dynamic point guard, but the numbers reflect that he's been good, but not what you paid for. You paid for 23, 24 points per game, 40% three-point shooting, higher assist numbers, and more importantly, health. Only played in 43 of 72 games this past year, and he missed some playoff games, which, you know, that's when things matter the most. So ultimately, the Celtics had to make a move, and that's why they ultimately flipped Kemba for Al Horford and some other picks involved as well. Now, Brad Stevens understands this isn't easy. This is a business. He had this to say. The most challenging part is being in that seat and having to make that call and ultimately say, yeah, we're going to do that. When you're talking about a guy like Kemba, again, coached him for 2 years, have nothing but good things to say about him, a really good teammate, a really good player, really good person, easy to be around every day. I think that's what made it the most difficult part of it, obviously. And hey, Brad Stevens has been the GM for 2 weeks? For him to have to make this trade so soon, it's a big decision. But we knew change was coming this offseason, not just with the GM, not just with the head coach, but also with the roster as well. So Kemba Walker upset. But this is the business side of sports, and that's how things go, especially as you get older and as injuries start to pop up, as Kemba Walker is now with Oklahoma City. Before we sign off on Boston Celtics Today, just hit that big red button and subscribe. YouTube.com/CelticsTV. We bring you the latest Celtics news, rumors, big offseason already. A bunch of news has dropped, and free agency will be here before you know it. So subscribe. Don't miss any of our coverage here on the show.